Ah, Friday. That beautiful little notification pops up on your phone. Direct deposit. You feel rich, you feel powerful, you're already thinking about those new shoes, a fancy dinner, maybe even a spontaneous weekend trip. So let's get right into it, because for so many of us, that feeling disappears way, way too fast. Today, we're going to build a rock-solid routine for every single paycheck, so that feeling of financial control actually sticks around.
Does this whole scenario sound just a little too familiar? You get paid on Friday, you blink, and by Monday, you're staring at your bank account going, wait, where did it all go? It's like some kind of vanishing act, right? Except you're not the magician. Well, the good news is it's not magic and you're definitely not alone. It's a huge problem, and today we are going to solve it step by step.
And just how huge of a problem is it? Well, take a look at this number, 64%. That's the percentage of Americans currently living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, think about that. That's almost 2 out of every 3 people just caught in this endless cycle of earn, spend, and have nothing left. What this number really tells us is that this isn't some personal failing. It's a massive challenge. But the way we solve it starts with understanding a weird quirk in our own psychology. And that weird quirk has a name. It's called mental accounting. It's the reason you might get a tax refund and your brain immediately screams, bonus, fun money, time for a new gadget, even though that's literally just your own money that you overpaid being returned to you. We have this tendency to put our money into these invisible mental buckets without any real strategy, and that leads to, well, let's just say some less than ideal choices. Okay, so how do we actually fight back against our own brain's weird wiring? We build a system. And any good system, any strong house, has to start with a solid foundation. So in this first section, we're going to get crystal clear on your numbers. No more guesswork, no more, I think I spend about, no, we're dealing with cold, hard facts. First things first, we gotta find what I call your financial baseline. This is the absolute bare minimum amount of money you need to survive each month. So open up a spreadsheet, a notebook, whatever works for you, and list everything. Your rent, your internet bill, groceries, gas, even the dental floss. You have to be brutally honest. Then comes the tough part. You start cutting the things that aren't essential for survival. And yeah, that means taking a hard look at those 3 different streaming services you kind of forgot you were even paying for. All right, once you've cut out the fluff, you'll have a single number. That's your core survival cost. Now, the big goal here, what you're shooting for, is to get that baseline number under 50% of your total income. A good rule of thumb is to aim for housing under 30%, food around 10%, and utilities and insurance taking up another 10%. If your number's way higher than 50%, that's a signal that it's time to start thinking about where you can make some bigger changes. Okay, so you've got your baseline. You know exactly what you need to survive. Now we build the next critical piece of that foundation, the ultimate safety net. We're talking about a dedicated cash reserve for when life, as it always does, decides to throw you a curveball. You all know how it goes, right? Murphy's Law. Your car's transmission decides to explode. You get an unexpected medical bill. Life is just unpredictable. And get this, a recent study found that a staggering 56% of Americans couldn't even cover a surprise $1,000 bill. $1,000! An emergency fund is your shield against Murphy's Law. It's what keeps you out of that soul-crushing high-interest debt when disaster strikes. Your target? Save up 6 months' worth of your financial baseline. All right, our foundation is looking solid. Now it's time to go on the attack and deal with the one thing that's like a giant anchor just dragging down most people's finances, debt. And I'm talking specifically about that high-interest kind that basically eats your money for breakfast. 77%. That is the percentage of American adults who are carrying some kind of debt. Think about that. We've kind of just accepted this as normal. But let's be real. High-interest debt, from credit cards or those awful payday loans, it's a financial fire. It's actively destroying your ability to save, to invest, and to build any kind of real wealth. It's time to declare war. And when you're going to war with debt, you've got 2 main battle plans. First is the avalanche method. This is for the math nerds. You attack the debt with the highest interest rate first, period. It will save you the most money in interest and get you out of debt the fastest. But then there's the snowball method. With this one, you ignore the interest rates and you pay off the smallest balance first. Why would you do that? For the psychological win. That feeling of completely wiping out a debt, no matter how small, gives you this incredible momentum to keep going. So which one is better? Honestly, the one you'll actually stick with. Okay, so once you've got a plan to deal with that high interest debt, you can finally switch from playing defense to playing offense. This is where building wealth gets really fun. And hey, speaking of making your money work for you, if you're getting value out of this, now would be an awesome time to hit that subscribe button for Finance with Lennox Hart. We do breakdowns like this all the time. All right, let's get back to it.
They say Einstein called this the eighth wonder of the world. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. Compound interest is the absolute magic that happens when your investments start to earn money, and then those earnings start earning their own money. It creates this unstoppable snowball of wealth, and it is, without a doubt, the single most powerful force you have for building your financial future.
And if you think I'm exaggerating, just look at these numbers. Let's say you save $6,000 a year for 40 years and just stash it in a savings account. You'll end up with $240,000. Not bad, right? But if you invest that same $6,000 a year and get an average market return, you end up with over $2.7 million. That's not just a difference, that's a different life. That is the insane, incredible power of compounding. Okay, so you're sold. But where does the money actually go? Just follow this simple priority list. Number 1, contribute to your 401k at work just enough to get the full employer match. This is literally free money. It's 100% return on your investment instantly. Do not leave it on the table. Number 2, open up a Roth IRA. The money you put in grows completely tax-free forever. It's amazing. And third, once you've maxed those out, any extra cash can go into a regular taxable brokerage account. You know, so many people get paralyzed here. They get scared and try to do this impossible thing called timing the market, trying to buy low and sell high. Here's the secret. Nobody can do that consistently. The real solution is way simpler. It's called dollar cost averaging. You just invest a fixed amount of money, say $200, on a regular schedule every single month. When the market is down, your $200 buys more shares. When it's up, it buys fewer. Over time, it all averages out and takes all the emotion and guesswork out of the equation. So let's recap. We've built the foundation. We have a plan to get out of debt. We're investing for the future. You've basically designed this perfect financial engine. Now for the last, and I'd argue, the most important step, taking yourself out of the equation and putting the whole entire thing on autopilot. Think about how many tiny decisions you make every single day. By the time you get home from work, your brain is just tired. That's decision fatigue. It's why after a brutal day, the thought of deciding what to cook, then actually cooking it, feels impossible. So you just grab your phone and order something expensive. The best way to beat this with your finances is to automate everything, so the right choice becomes the default choice. So here's the blueprint. This is how you set it all up. Step 1, your paycheck is direct deposited into your main checking account. That's your hub. From there, on that same day, you have automatic transfers set up. One sends your bill and spending money to a spending account. The rest of it, everything else, goes to a separate savings account. And from that savings account, you have automatic payments going out to your debt, to your investments, to your other savings goals. It just runs itself.
And that's it. That's the entire routine. Your 5-step playbook for every single payday. 1, know your baseline so you're dealing with facts, not feelings. 2, build your emergency fund so you're protected from the unexpected. 3, destroy high-interest debt to free up your cash flow. 4, invest for the future so your money starts working for you. And 5, the knockout punch. Automate everything so the system runs without you.
Look, at the end of the day, this was never really about the numbers on a spreadsheet, was it? It's about building a system that buys you back your time, your mental energy, and your freedom. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Once your system is built and running on its own, what are you going to do with all that new freedom? All right, so if this breakdown gave you a little clarity or maybe just the kick in the pants you needed to get started, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed for more and drop a comment below letting me know what's the one thing you're most excited to do once your system is automated. Thanks so much for watching.